You know Nicolas Cage? The guy who steals the Declaration of Independence, talks to his dead girlfriend's corpse, and literally owns a tomb shaped like a pyramid? Yeah, that Nicolas Cage. Well, believe it or not, this Hollywood wildcard found something completely unexpected. Real love with an ordinary Japanese girl from Kyoto. And their love story is honestly more insane than any movie he's ever starred in. We're talking FaceTime proposals, 31-year age gaps, custom black diamond engagement rings delivered via FedEx, and a pandemic that actually made their relationship stronger. So stick around because we're diving into one of the most unexpected love stories in Hollywood, and you'll find out exactly where she is and what she's doing now. Before we talk about the romance, let's meet the woman at the center of this story. Riko Shibata is not your typical Hollywood wife. She wasn't an Instagram influencer, a model, or someone chasing fame. She was a regular Japanese girl from Kyoto, one of Japan's most beautiful and historic cities. Born on January 10th, 1995, Riko was just living her life, minding her own business, doing ordinary things ordinary people do. Here's what makes her interesting though. Riko wasn't interested in the spotlight. She wasn't trying to break into Hollywood or become famous. She was a film extra and worked in the entertainment industry, but she wasn't pushing hard for stardom. She was content with her life, her family, and her home in Kyoto. Little did she know that her entire life was about to change in the most unexpected way possible. One unique thing about Riko, she loves animals, and not just regular pets. We're talking exotic animals. She had flying squirrels, specifically sugar gliders, as pets. This detail might sound random, but trust me, it becomes really important later in the story. So here's where the story gets interesting. In late 2019, Nicolas Cage was in Japan filming a movie called Prisoners of the Ghostland. He was there doing his job, being Nicolas Cage, living his Hollywood life. Meanwhile, Riko was working on the same film as an extra and had a small role as a mannequin woman. The magic happened when they were introduced through mutual friends while Cage was in Shiga, Japan. It was one of those random meetings that usually means nothing, but something clicked. According to Cage himself, they spent time together exploring Japan, getting to know each other, and their connection just grew and grew. Now, Nicolas Cage was 56 years old at the time. Riko was only 25. That's a 31-year age gap. For most people, that would be a deal breaker. But these two didn't care. They were genuinely interested in each other. They bonded over shared interests, unique personalities, and, here's the key part, a mutual love for animals. When Cage asked Riko if she had any pets, she told him about her flying squirrels. According to Cage himself, that's literally when he thought, that's it. This could work out. So they fell in love almost instantly. The romance blossomed quickly. They were spending time together, exploring Japan, learning about each other's cultures and lives. It was actually really sweet. Two people from completely different worlds, completely different ages, completely different backgrounds, but they connected on a real level. But then everything changed. Because of the pandemic and travel restrictions, Riko had to go back to Kyoto, and Nicolas had to return to Nevada. They went from spending all their time together to being separated by an entire ocean. For 6 months, they were apart. And this is where their relationship could have fallen apart. Long-distance relationships are hard, especially when you've just started, especially when there's a pandemic making everything worse. But instead of giving up, they did something that kept their connection alive. They FaceTimed every single day. They stayed connected despite the distance, and something beautiful happened. Their bond didn't break, it actually got stronger. Cage later said about that time, "We were really happy together and excited to spend more time together, but with the pandemic, we were apart for a long time, which was tough on both of us. But they made it work. They didn't let the distance kill their love. In fact, by the time they were finally able to see each other again, they knew they wanted to be together forever." Here's where things get absolutely wild. In August 2020, Cage was on a FaceTime call with Riko. They were separated, stuck because of the pandemic, but still connected through a screen. And in that moment, Cage decided he didn't want to wait anymore. He decided right then and there that he wanted to marry her. But instead of waiting to see her in person, Cage just proposed to her over FaceTime. He said to her, "I want to marry you." It was spontaneous, romantic, and completely Nicolas Cage. A little unconventional, a little unexpected, but genuine. But wait, it gets better. Because Cage didn't just propose with words. He sent her an actual engagement ring. Not just any ring though, a custom black diamond engagement ring. And how did he send it? via FedEx. Can you imagine getting your engagement ring delivered by FedEx? That's absolutely insane in the best way possible. Riko said yes immediately. She didn't hesitate. She was ready to marry this man she met on a movie set, who was 31 years older than her, who lived in a completely different country, but their love was real and they were committed. By February 2021, they were ready to make it official. On February 16th, 2021, Nicolas Cage and Riko Shibata got married at the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas. The wedding was described as very small and intimate, with only close friends and family members in attendance. It wasn't a big Hollywood spectacle. It wasn't in the tabloids beforehand. It was private, it was personal, and it was beautiful. What made the wedding special was how they blended their two cultures. Riko wore a custom-made Japanese bridal kimono. Cage wore a classic tuxedo. It was a perfect representation of their relationship. Two different cultures, two different backgrounds, coming together in love. After the wedding, Cage said simply, "It's true, and we are very happy." And you could tell he meant it. This was his 5th marriage, by the way. He'd been married 4 times before, and he'd had some pretty high-profile relationships and divorces. So when he said this time felt right, people listened. So what about now? Where is Riko Shibata in 2026? Well, she's living the life that most people would consider a dream. She's married to a famous Hollywood actor. They have a beautiful daughter together named August Francesca, who was born in September 2022. Cage became a father again at 58 years old, and by all accounts, he's loving every minute of it. Riko has become a fixture at major Hollywood events. She's attended movie premieres with her husband. She walked the red carpet at the Oscars. She's been photographed at award shows looking absolutely stunning. But here's the thing, she's not trying to be famous. She's just living her life, supporting her husband, being a mother to their daughter, and enjoying the extraordinary life that her ordinary love story created. According to sources, it's unclear what Riko does for a living now, but some identify her as an entrepreneur. What we do know is that Cage has expressed extreme happiness in this relationship. He's told the media multiple times that despite having 5 marriages under his belt, he thinks he finally got it right this time with Riko. You might be wondering why this story even matters. Why should you care about Nicolas Cage and some Japanese girl he met on a movie set? Here's why. Because their love story proves that real connection doesn't care about age, culture, background, or circumstances. It proves that when two people genuinely like each other and are willing to work through challenges, love actually works. In a world where celebrity relationships seem superficial and fake, where people break up over social media and divorce after 4 days, Riko and Nicolas found something genuine. They didn't care what people thought about their 31-year age gap. They didn't care that she was from Japan and he was from America. They didn't care that he was famous and she wasn't. They just cared about each other. And even when a global pandemic tried to separate them, they found a way to stay connected. They didn't give up. They didn't move on. They fought for it.